Really, something's going on, Sag, with you and some sort of indecision, not knowing whether to go left or right. But with this new moon depicted in this card, you've got 2 new moons to break out of this. Really interesting. I'm really getting by that new moon in Aquarius. You'll be able to say or speak something that breaks you out of that stasis, whatever's going on. When it pops up 3 times like that, I'm getting the new moon, the full moon, and then the new moon again. That's when it's going to finally resolve for you, Sag. So let's see what else is going on for you this month and next month. We've got Knight of Coins showing up middle of January next to Queen of Rods. I'm reading this as you, Sag. So there may be an earth sign around you who is willing to be of service. Usually the knights work for the queens or are under their authority. So this could be a Taurus, a Virgo, or a Capricorn who just wants to help you or is on your side. You know, both of these cards have this yellow background, which is all about sunniness and optimism and getting things done. Here's someone who's very skilled at practical matters, you know, sort of like the nuts and bolts of getting something done, who is really in alignment with your vision, Sag. This is like someone who wants to either be at your beck and call, whether this is male or female, someone who wants to serve you. Maybe this is an employee. Maybe this is a child, one of your children. Maybe this is a very ardent lover. Maybe this is someone who, a business partner who has the same vision as you. But I'm seeing, Sag, whoever this is, there's someone who really wants to help you at the middle of January. So look around to see who that might be. Even if you're feeling out of sorts, even if you're feeling off balance or you don't know where your serenity or your peace is, there's a lot of hope and a lot of, you know, your dreams coming true. The star really has to do with having a vision and believing in it. You know, I always think of the Jiminy Cricket song, When You Wish Upon a Star, when I see this card, because it's really about hope, you know, having wishes fulfilled. It means finding balance. What I'm seeing that's interesting here, Sag, is that she's kneeling on the ground between the earth and the water. And with Temperance here, this is someone who's standing on the ground between, you know, the earth and the water. What I'm noticing is that you may have to get down low. You may have to employ humility in order to find your balance at the middle of January, Sag. You may have to like sort of strip down all of your clothes. Like what I'm seeing that is like outer status or definitions, and just be really authentic in who you are. And that's going to be what grounds you. That's what is going to give you stability and peace and harmony and make you recognize your own unique value in the world just as who you are. One of the things that's depicted by the star is that she recognizes her own inherent intrinsic value, just as the tree depicted, or the bird, or the flower, or anything in that natural landscape. She recognizes her place in that natural landscape, and therefore her own value, just as she is, without any definitions, without any pretense, without any status, without any outer sort of shell of defining, you know, I'm this title, I'm that title. She's completely valuable just as she is, without any of that. And also balanced. So I'm really seeing that if you're feeling emotionally off balance, if you're feeling unstable, if you're feeling any sort of lack of peace, you may need to just come down to earth and employ humility, engage with the earth plane. Instead of these high, lofty ideals, potentially, trying to be an angel, just be a human. Allow yourself, you know, frailty. Allow yourself flaws. Allow yourself to just show up authentically and naturally. And by the way, there's someone who wants to help you. So there's a lot of good stuff. The middle of January here, Sag. Let's see what else is coming up. King of Cups. This could be a water sign person, Pisces, Cancer, or Scorpio, who's very loving, who's very considerate. Sometimes this is read as like the perfect lover or the perfect husband. In this case, it also could be perfect wife, because I usually read court cards as male or female. But it's someone who's very loving, and again, someone who wants to support and help you, Sag. You know, you've got a knight here, you've got a king here. They're in support of you. So I see you getting lots of help, especially if you're having any sort of struggles or pitfalls, or the Five of Wands is usually just like competition. It's like traffic. It's the petty annoyances of life. It's when things get covered up in red tape and it's just like aggravating and frustrating. If you're experiencing any of that, you know, problems in essence, there's someone who's a water sign who can really help you with that. You know, whether this is a counselor or a friend or a parent, a family member, they're really there to turn your world from all this strife and problems to just helping you be your radiant natural self and in your own authority and receiving help. So lots of good stuff happening. We've got Five of Swords and Queen of Cups. Look at this, Sag. These are both 5 cards. 5 of Wands, 5 of Swords, which usually have to do with conflict, with resolving something. This has to do with more of action. So conflict in action. And this is conflict of thought. So I call this picking up the pieces, trying to find wisdom and insight that is available to you after conflict has passed. And there's these 2 heart-centered people, very much in their own authority in terms of the heart, mastery of emotion, master of the heart, who are really here to help and soothe you through whatever you may be going through in terms of conflict of action and thought. I'm going to encourage you to really receive help and nurturing. Look at the cups that they have offering. Those are cups of the heart. So it's cups of compassion, usually intuition, emotion, caring, nurturance. That's what cups people are about. And they're 2 experts in the field who really want to help you with whatever's going on here in the center. So if towards the end of January and the beginning of February, you're experiencing this strife, you're feeling unbalanced, turn to some water signs or some people who are around you who serve that authority of the heart. Again, whether it's counselor, teacher, even just a good friend, it can be someone who can really help you through that, Sag. Sorry about that, Sag. Someone just came to my door. And it's been interesting, even within this reading, I'm kind of getting interruptions of like people coming in. So I'm going to say there might be some starts and stops between January. It might feel like you're going forward, then going backwards, going forward. Or just that maybe people are coming into your experience. And this could be very beneficial. Instead of feeling like you have to battle it out and have conflict and try to figure everything out on your own, you know, let these people of the heart come in to help you and nurture you and serve in the way that they can. They're really your peers and your equals in terms of kings and queens. But they have a different kind of energy from you, Sag. You have fire energy, which is really about getting things done, being active, being curious, being, you know, going for it. You Sages are normally very optimistic and happy-go-lucky, but sometimes just raw energy and action can't solve everything. These people, these king and queen of the heart, of water, of emotion, of compassion, they're going to be really helpful in just sort of diffusing any of this chaos or conflict that's going on, either in your mind or your actions. If there's problems surrounding, if there's competition, you know, see, they have a very sort of soft, compassionate nature for you. And they can really just put this in perspective is what I'm getting. What else? Then 10 of Cups comes in. If you're able to drink from the cups, these counselors, friends, family members, these water people, again, Pisces, Scorpio, Cancer, or just someone who has that archetype of the person from the heart, maybe a counselor, look at where you end up, Sag. You know, 10 of Cups, it's the most amount of cups that you can receive. It's the most amount of happiness. It's sort of like saying they show you how to operate from cups energy, and then you have all the cups that are possible. You know, it's the end of the rainbow. It's the gift. It is feeling completely happy and nurtured. This is usually family energy too, joy of the family. So it means celebrating and enjoying peace in the family. So good stuff coming, Sag. Let's see what else is coming up forgiveness. Yeah. Maybe having a hard time forgiving someone, especially if they're an air sign, or they may be having a hard time forgiving you. This is usually Libra, Gemini, or Aquarius. So if there's someone who is an air sign in your environment, you, especially if they're a family member, you may be having a hard time forgiving them, or they may be having a hard time forgiving you, but that is actually what is going to allow this Ten of Cups to come in. Letting the ghosts of the past go. Instead of arguments and quibbling over things, you really need to employ this spiritual fire in order to let any old baggage go, any old karma, old stories. You kind of need to employ this Emperor energy, which is father energy. This is the masculine. This is structure, stability. You know, both of these cards carry the sword of the truth, but he's in the upright position and she's in the reverse. So they're truths that are not the same. They're kind of opposite truths. But regardless, this forgiveness is really going to help, and it's going to be what will allow you to experience this Ten of Cups, which means that your heart feels filled, means that you feel peace and joy and harmony, especially within the family. So I'm going to encourage you, what I'm really getting, by the way, I'm going to encourage you to stand in your strength, is what I was going to say with Emperor. But what I'm really seeing is that these two people, whoever they may be, you know, that could be a couple, it could be your parents, it could be just friends. Coming from the heart is really going to help you in feeling stabilized, especially if you're not feeling it towards the middle of January. By the middle of February, you're going to be in a very stable, strong position with a lot of good stuff coming in, the end of the rainbow. But I'm going to encourage you to employ forgiveness, especially as it relates to a very strong woman, or someone who speaks very sharply, who may have some sharp words for you, especially if they're a family member or someone from your past. You may have a hard time forgiving them or yourself in the situation. There may be sharp words that are shared, but I'm going to encourage you to do that because it will help you resolve things, maybe long-standing issues, battles.